Welcome to Shadows of Vengeance. Tonight, we begin in the ruins of Blackthorn's infamous Miller Place, shrouded in legend and tragedy. Dr. Sloan, can you describe why abandoned places like this evoke such powerful emotions in people?
Absolutely, Clara. Abandoned sites like Blackthorn's Mill become canvases for collective memory and fear. Psychologically, the decay and isolation tap into primal anxieties about danger and the unknown. The mill's history, fire, loss, rumors of curses magnifies its eerie presence.
That's fascinating. The sensory details, the scent of rust, the silence almost make the place a character itself. How do these details impact our sense of suspense as a story unfolds?
Sensory cues create immersion. Studies show that readers' heart rates increase when stories leverage specific smells or sounds, like creaking wood. It's an evolutionary response. Our brains interpret these details as warnings, priming us for danger.
Let's shift to our enigmatic figure, the Whisper. He's described as a ghost, a myth, even a monster. Dr. Sloan, why do towns invent such legends around mysterious figures?
Communities use myths to process trauma and explain the inexplicable. The Whisper embodies unresolved violence and justice. Much like the Headless Horseman or Slender Man, his story fills gaps in public memory and warns outsiders to stay away.
Is there evidence these legends influence real events? Or behaviors in towns like Blackthorn?
Definitely. Sociological research indicates towns with strong local legends have fewer trespassers at dangerous sites, but they also experience more rumor-driven investigations, which can escalate tensions and even incite copycat incidents.
Revenge is central to the Whisper's story. His quest is relentless. Dr. Sloan, what does psychology say about individuals consumed by vengeance?
Revenge can be a powerful motivator, often rooted in loss, betrayal, or unresolved grief. Studies on trauma survivors show that fixating on retribution can provide purpose, but it also corrodes empathy and social connections, leading to isolation.
Are there historical parallels to figures like the Whisper people who become mythic through their pursuit of vengeance?
Certainly. From the Count of Monte Cristo to real-world vigilantes, society both fears and admires those who take justice into their own hands. But the toll on their psyche is often devastating, as seen in case studies of lone wolf operatives.
The Whisper's past is tied to something called Project Erebus, a Black Ops unit erased from history. How realistic is it for such secret programs to leave no trace?
While it's rare, some military programs are heavily compartmentalized. Black projects like the CIA's MKUltra or the UK's Operation Gladio were nearly invisible for decades. Yet digital footprints and whistleblowers today make total erasure nearly impossible.
Given this, what motivates storytellers to use secret projects as origins for their antiheroes?
Secret programs symbolize institutional betrayal. They grant characters like the Whisper a plausible skill set and moral ambiguity, while allowing audiences to project their own fears about unchecked power and hidden agendas.
The Whisper moves with military precision, silent, controlled, almost predatory. How accurate are portrayals of such skills in fiction compared to real-world training?
Fiction often dramatizes covert skills, but real operatives do train for stealth, situational awareness, and psychological warfare. For example, Navy SEALs and ex-spies report spending months perfecting movement and observation techniques that border on the uncanny.
Are there cases where former operatives have become urban legends themselves?
Yes. Take Carlos the Jackal or the Ghost of Vietnam. Their exploits, often exaggerated, become modern folklore. blending fact and fiction to inspire both fear and fascination.
Enter Ethan Kalitha, journalist. He's clearly in over his head. What draws investigative reporters into these perilous situations?
Investigative journalists are driven by a sense of justice and the thrill of uncovering secrets. According to a 2022 Pew Research survey, nearly 60% admit to taking personal risks to expose corruption or hidden truths.
Does this compulsion sometimes cross into obsession, as we see with Ethan?
Absolutely. The line between dedication and obsession is thin. Prolonged exposure to violence or secrecy can lead to burnout, paranoia, or even fatal mistakes, as documented in the careers of war correspondents.
When Ethan offers the envelope proof of the Whisper's past, risks everything. Why is trust so fragile in high-stakes environments like this?
Trust requires vulnerability, and in clandestine worlds, vulnerability equals risk. Game theory suggests that in zero-sum situations, players default to distrust unless incentivized otherwise. The stakes life, death, secrets amplify every betrayal.
Is it possible for genuine alliances to emerge in such hostile settings?
Occasionally, yes. Shared goals or mutual enemies can foster temporary alliances. But long-term trust is rare. More often, such relationships collapse under the weight of suspicion or external manipulation.
Ethan's envelope could change everything it holds proof, or perhaps a trap. Why do physical artifacts carry so much weight in narratives and investigations?
Physical evidence, like envelopes or photographs, grounds abstract threats in reality. In both fiction and real investigations, tangible proof catalyzes action. According to criminologist Ann Wolpert, 82% of cold cases progress when new physical evidence emerges.
Does the uncertainty surrounding such artifacts add to the suspense?
Absolutely. The ambiguity proof or bait creates narrative tension. It forces characters and audiences alike to question motives, increasing emotional investment and stakes.
Ethan faces a moral quandary exposing the Whisper's secrets could bring justice or unleash chaos. How do journalists navigate these ethical dilemmas?
Journalistic codes demand a balance between public interest and potential harm. The SPJ Code of Ethics urges minimizing harm while pursuing truth. In real cases, like the Pentagon Papers, journalists had to weigh transparency against national security.
Do you think Ethan's actions are justified or reckless?
It's a complex debate. If his evidence aids justice and protects future victims, exposure is warranted. But if it endangers lives or undermines due process, he crosses into recklessness-echoing debates faced by whistleblowers and undercover reporters.
As we near the end, I want to ask, can someone like the Whisper ever escape the cycle of vengeance and violence?
Breaking the cycle is enormously challenging. Trauma recovery literature suggests that only meaningful connection or a shift in purpose can interrupt the pattern. Without intervention, the cycle often perpetuates, as seen in generational revenge feuds.
What would it take, hypothetically, for the Whisper to find peace?
He'd need to confront his grief, reclaim agency beyond revenge, and perhaps forge a new identity. Redemption arcs in fiction often hinge on a moment of vulnerability or forgiveness, rare, but not impossible even for the darkest antiheroes.